Tall and thin and young and lovely, the girl from Ipanema goes walking, and when she passes, each one she passes goes ah. When she walks, she's like a samba that swings so cool and sways so gently that when she passes, each one she passes goes ah.
Bom tarde, and welcome to our international seminar video on Brazil. As our travels carried us through Manaus, Fortaleza, and Brasilia, our group was very aware of one common theme during our trip: a sense of responsibility and advocacy for the environment. Our trip began in Manaus, Amazonia, where our stay at the Arraial Amazon Towers focused on ecotourism. Arraial Towers is one of the first ecologically friendly hotels in Brazil and is constructed to minimize its interference with the Rio Negro and the surrounding forest. During our stay at Arraial Towers, our guides described the waterways and vegetation, as well as the role that they play in the lives of the native people. On the Rio Negro, any food that is not caught or harvested must be shipped in by boat from Manaus. This dictates that the native people depend heavily on the surrounding wilderness for the majority of their food. Because it is their primary source of nourishment, the people of the Rio Negro must be steadfast in the protection of their ecosystem. On our journey into the forest, we learned of the diverse plant life and the practical uses for a variety of different plant species. From chewing gum to treatments for diabetes, dysentery, and malaria, we learned why it's so important to protect the Amazon rainforest. In these forests and waterways lie cures for numerous diseases and ailments, which benefit not only Brazil, but the entire world. The Brazilian government welcomes exploration and research in the Amazon forest as long as it's done responsibly and legally. Currently, Brazil uses satellite imaging to monitor deforestation, and as a result, it has lost less than 2% of its rainforest. Here, Michael shows us how to remove toxins from the poisonous manioc root and transform the meal into delicious tapioca bread.
And then wrap it up like this and squeeze out the juice from it. They take the meal and they would sift it in a sifter like this. So we call the tree Tapir's guava. It has two colored bark. This outer bark and a red inner bark. The red inner bark is a very good medication against diarrhea. You scrape it off and you mash it up in your hands. And you put it in a cup of water. Leave it for an hour or so. And then you strain it. And you give the person who has diarrhea the water to drink. It stops it. As I said, Amazon rainforest. The government of the Amazon and Brazil would like people to come in to do research. We would like scientists to come in because we want it to be beneficial not only for Brazil, but for the world. We want everybody to benefit from it. But do it legally. Because you know, charity begins where?
At home.
At home. If you don't look after your house, no one is going to look after it for you. You got to look after it. Okay? This is one of our medicinal trees here. This tree is called Sucuba. The University of Washington has taken this milk back because it has an alkaloid in it. The latex has an alkaloid that gets rid of clot blood under the skin. With the permission of the Brazilian government, they are going to try to find out if it can get rid of blood clots in other parts of the body. If that can happen, it would be a terrific breakthrough for science. Perhaps to get rid of blood clots in the brain, blood clots in the heart. It would be a great help to mankind. Okay?
During our week in Fortaleza, we learned of several ways that the government and the people of Brazil are taking steps to lessen their impact on the environment. One way is through an aggressive recycling program. Throughout Brazil, there are universal colors for recycling containers. In landfills, workers known as catadores sift through waste to find recyclable materials that would otherwise be buried in the landfill. As a result, it was reported by our guide that nearly 99% of all aluminum cans in Brazil are recycled. As mandated by the Brazilian government, all shopping bags are either biodegradable or made from 100% recycled material.
This generator can support 90,000 families. Wow. With this wind farm.
Just outside of Fortaleza, we learned about renewable energy in the form of coastal wind farms. While the lack of wind in the Amazon would make wind farms impractical there, the coastal breezes of Ceará are the perfect place for this renewable energy source. When possible, Brazil resorts to hydroelectric or wind power using petroleum-based solutions only when absolutely necessary. One thing we found interesting was that while many in America find wind farms aesthetically displeasing, they blended seamlessly with both urban and rural environments in Brazil. During our travels in Brazil, we recognized that the protection of the environment was not only a social mission, but an economic one as well. Through ecotourism, renewable energy, recycling, and the production of environmentally friendly materials, this movement is making Brazil a cleaner and more sustainable country while creating economic opportunity for its citizens and sustainable investment opportunities for the rest of the world.
When you're absolute beginners, it's a panoramic view from Her Majesty Mount Zion, and the kingdom is for you.